So what I'm going to show you quick here is an alternative if you want to not do the crab stitch and you want to add a little bling to the edge of your flap. So this is one that I did already with the chain. I'm going to show you here, and I'm going to use this rose gold chain. Now I took the end of this one off because I actually bought, it's actually a purse strap. So I just have like a little pliers here that I use, and I usually just put it right in, and then I push it open and it opens up the piece. So you can buy some on the roll like this. This is what I used for my gold one here. So you can kind of separate it off at the right size, and that's what I'll do here. So we're going to jump in. I'm going to show you. It's actually all right. So now I'm going to show you how to attach the chain onto your flap. So we've just done this last single crochet before we start working across this side to like even this out. So what I do is I switch my hook size. So I've got a 2.75. You can use a 2.25, or if you have a big enough chain, you could keep using the same hook size as the rest of your bag. The only reason we changed is because you want to make sure that your hook can go through the chain easily and pull yarn through. If it can't, it's gonna be difficult. You're not gonna be, or even if it's kind of tight, it's gonna be kind of difficult to work this part. And you'll notice that when you do the strap as well. So what I do is now I turn my work, and I've got it zoomed in just so you can see a little clearer on what I'm doing. And now you want to make sure your chain is flat. You don't want any twists in any of these, because then it's going to look twisted on your work, and that's not going to look good. So what I do is whatever way I want this to lay, I make sure it's not twisted. I'm gonna have my first hook or loop on my hook, and then I'm going to put the chain on my hook, and then I'm just going to do a slip stitch through both. So think of your chain as just another loop on your hook. Okay, so now it's attached, and now I push it flat against my work like this, and we're going to do through one of those single crochets and one chain. We're going to do slip stitches all the way across. So we're going to, so this one will count here with this first, and then we'll go to the next one through that single crochet and through our chain, yarn over, pull through both, and the one on your hook. So that's slip stitch there. Then we'll do the next one. So this next space, through the hook, yarn over, pull through all of them, and the one on your hook. And we'll just keep going through. So just simple, very simple slip stitches. You're just working with the chain. Again, just make sure it's laying flat. You'll notice if you get a twist on there, you can see it. So just keep doing your slip stitches, and that's all there is to it. You'll get to the end. Now my chain obviously is longer than what I'm going to need, because this is actually a purse chain. So what I do, whether I'm measuring out my other chain or when I took off this piece and where I need to end it, depending on the length, is I just put in a little plier, and then I just pull apart and it separates, and you can take that off. It would help if I had the right end. There we go. So then it opens up like that, and you can take that off, and now you've got the end. So however the length is that we need to take this off, that's what I use to separate that. Depending on your chain, some of them you can separate by hand. This one's a little more heavy duty, so I wouldn't be able to do that. So I'll finish that up and then show you what it looks like here when we finish. All right, so I've got a bit done here, so you can kind of see how that's starting to look. And we'll finish this and then we'll level it off so it will look like a half circle. But as I was working on this, I thought of something that I want to mention to you. So as you're working, depending on the size of your chain, so I've got a couple different kinds here. So this kind you can see is a little smaller than the rose gold that I purchased. So depending on the size of your chain, if you do want to line it, it might not be one in each single crochet. You might have to skip some. So if you notice that these aren't necessarily lining up with your single crochets, so you can see this next one here, I have this stitch, and then this is my one after it, right? So I just stitched here, but then this is my next chain and it lines up more with that one. So then I just skip this stitch just to make sure that it looks nice. Otherwise it's going to start to bunch. So just keep that in mind. Depending on the width of your chain, I try to match it to my my single crochets, but I really like this rose gold chain, and it was the only size it came in, so that's why I have that with the other one. The other chain that I bought and that I have reference to in the pattern actually fits really well with a single crochet, so you can do 1 for 1. But if you do decide to use a bigger chain or you like that look better, just keep that in mind.